Hello and welcome to African Voices with me, Bailo Jallo, and my colleague, Chiwe Chihana.
Thanks so much, Bailo. Good evening, everybody. My name is Chiwe Chihana, as Bailo has said, and welcome to African Voices platform, where we've been giving you exclusive coverage of the military coup that took place in Guinea. Tonight, we're going to be covering the story of the 79 political prisoners who were released at the order of the coup leader, Lt Colonel Mamady Doumbouya. Our guests on this, who are in various parts of Guinea and the United Kingdom at the moment are Bah Sheriff, the UK head of the Defense for the Constitution in Guinea. We've got Mr. Alpha Barry, who is a close friend to Abdoulay Bah, the former mayor of Kindia, and he's one of the political detainees that was released yesterday. And during the process of this show, we might actually get a guest from the Union of Democratic Forces in Guinea joining us at a later stage, but we'll get back to you. I'll pass you back on to Bailo.
Yes, indeed, Chiwe. We've got these guests here today that will be here to help us unfold what has been happening over the last couple of days since the fresh wind of change started to blow on Sunday morning. First, we'll start with Mr. Sheriff, who is the leader of the FNDC in the UK here, which is the Front National for the Defense of the Guinean Constitution, which was fighting former President Alpha Conde not to stand for the third term. So, Mr. Bah Sheriff, your take on what has been unfolding for the past couple of days.
Thank you so much for having me within your platform here. And obviously, as everybody has witnessed what has been happening in Guinea, and following a massive hold-up electoral in Guinea, whereby the President Alpha Conde decided to change the constitution in order to give himself power for life. That has been said, the Guinean Constitution Defense League and the FNDC, which I'm a member and a leader in the United Kingdom, we stood against that change of constitution. Hence why Alpha Conde, despite several advices from the international community, the African Union, and he decided to just carry forward repressing people and killing over 200 young protesters. So the relief came on Sunday, where Colonel Mamady Doumbouya and his team decided to free Guinea. This is another sign of joy, a new sign of Guinea, and just blowing from since Sunday. So the joy in Guinea and following the release of over 700 political prisoners is another relief for the entire nation. Therefore, the Guinean Constitution League and the FNDC here on the behalf of the UK citizen who stood against that practice and is also released and overwhelmed by the situation in Guinea. Therefore, we advise, we are observing what is happening in Guinea, and we believe the team of Mr. Doumbouya will lead Guinea to that freedom that the people were expecting ever since 1960, the Independence Day of Guinea.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mr. Sheriff. Could you give a bit more context to that number? So reports, we've got varied numbers of prisoners that were released, but you're talking about a number around 700 of prisoners. What's the context of that?
So as we have, you may have been observing, we had 1,000, or let's say that over 700 political prisoners that have been held in Guinea in a different camp. So that number is not exact. We cannot verify that number. And even following observers, yesterday after the release of those 700, it was a massive shock, to the community to know that up to that number was held in prison. So at the moment, we can only give that number as a temporary number because we still have other people held in Sorong-Koni and other camp in the, for example, in Kindia, in other region. So therefore, we can only stick to that number for the moment. And as time goes, we will get the full update to you guys.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sheriff, for that. Mr. Alpha Barry, if we may bring you in, speaking of those that were released yesterday, we know that one of those that were released yesterday is your best friend, Mr. Abdoulay Bah, who is from the opposition, the UFDG party. Tell us, what did he say and how does he feel right now? And you as a friend as well, how do you feel?
Thank you to bring us in this communication today, because it's the right things to do, because like we know, in this country, it's not much we know about Guinea. Thank you to give us the opportunity as well to let UK know where is Guinea and what is going on in Guinea. Thank you for that, with your team to provide this communication for us to tell other Guinean people who live in the UK, this what is going on in Guinea. All right, thank you. Like what Sheriff Bah said there, yes, it's around 700 prisoners is in prison by who? By the dictator Alpha Conde. Yesterday, it was in Conakry, it was 79 people who went out from that jail. That include one of my friends is Abdoulay Bah. I'm so happy Abdoulay Bah every day in prison, every single day we was texting each other and he was telling me, and everyone know why Abdoulay Bah went back to the prison, because he was released. The president, they give him like, because he's not feeling well, they tell him to go out and to get checked up with the doctor. And what he, like always, he'll be standing saying he don't admit what Alpha Conde did because he's not, he didn't vote for that new constitution. And we went for election. Who won is Lt Colonel Mamady, and he's standing in that one. And he said when he went out, like many, as you know, when you go out prison, is many people come to you, and he came explain what is going on and what he still feel, because he was arrested because of that. And he came out, he said, and he repeated, he said in Guinea, the only president who is being elected by the people is Lt Colonel Mamady. Alpha Conde is an ex-president. That's the only word who took him back to the prison again. But like I said, he's a guy, he don't care what they was going to do to him. He stand what he vote for, and he want to stand for Guinean. It's not, like he said, he don't care about himself. He care about the freedom of the Guinean. That's why he stand, he's still saying, I want my Guinea to be free. Like today, I'm so happy for seeing him going out, and he sacrificed a lot to give the Guinean the freedom. Like if you see some of the video yesterday, how's the Guinean when he came out? Oh my God, he was very good. He was very good. And I will tell all Guinean to be same as Abdoulay Bah. When you say something, take it, because one thing, you are not fighting. Don't think about yourself. Don't think because of you, like other political people do. They just want, when they got called here money, they go. They don't want for the other people. Like Abdoulay Bah is a hero for Guinean independence. I'm asking everyone, and I say to this new military army, one thing, don't follow those enemy of Guinea. Right now, you give Guinea freedom. We pray you continue to give the Guinean people the freedom everyone wants. For now, I will stand there, because I wanted to bring Abdoulay Bah in this about everyone know right now. It's many people around. It's many people going to see them. And because when you come out from jail, as you know, our tradition is many people concerned to come see if you are okay. Everyone is happy. For now, I will leave you with Abailo.
Mr. Barry, thank you so much for that context. And clearly, Mr. Abdoulay Bah is really of high profile. He's one of the most high profile prisoners that were released yesterday. I would like to come back to that, but for now, can I just speak to Mr. Sheriff? I would want to understand from your perspective, with you being the head of the Defense for the Constitution in Guinea, Mr. Sheriff, how do you reconcile the military coup against the constitution of Ghana? I mean, it looks like everybody in Guinea is really pleased and jubilating on this, but how do you reconcile the two, a military coup versus what the constitution holds?
First of all, what we have to understand here, we are jubilating in the sense that, you know, the country was, due to the condition of the country, was deteriorating politically, economically, and socially. And also, the repression of people was again drastic. So people were suffering. You know, the life condition was completely deteriorating. However, the constitution always condemned any coup by the junta, by the military. So this is not the wish of the Guinean people. But however, this practice that happened in Guinea is a kind of solution, to bring the constitution back. But as Mr. Doumbouya and his team say, they are here. They will look into, after consulting all the political forces, the society and the people, the religious leaders. They will define a guideline whereby we will see how to bring this country on track and see how democracy will come back to Guinea. So therefore, it's a practice that we condemn, but at certain circumstances, we take it as just another way to free the country from that oppression.
Thank you very much for clarifying that, Mr. Sharif. But I'll just go back to Mr. Barry again, because we know that it was not only Mr. Abdoulay Bah that was released. Another high-profile person that was also released was Ismail Silla, or Omar Silla, pardon me. Omar Silla, known as Fonike Mange, and also Ismail Conde, who was with President Alpha Conde before in the regime, but switched to the UFDG party, the main political opposition party in Guinea, if I can say it that way right now, because at the end of the day, according to the Guinean Supreme Court and the Electoral Commission, they announced that it was Alpha Conde who won the election, despite it being disputed. So, so I just want you to stress on how those people as well, how they are feeling, what has been the reaction. Yes, he said there is jubilation across the country with what we have seen, but were these all released by the order of Lt Colonel Mamady Doumbouya? Any of you can take it.
Yes, there was release, like we come to like Fonike Mange. We didn't see Fonike Mange right now because don't forget the Fonike Mange was in prison. He was sick and he couldn't do anything. As we know what they wanted all of them to die in prison. That's why they didn't give him a chance to go to have a hospital treatment. Yes, now we have the freedom, because when they was going to hospital before, they have to go with the army. Even if they are there, they are not safe because they're still with the army of Alpha Conde with the criminals. Right now, yes, we are happy and we praying again for him to get his health, because as I say, we see the other ones, they went out. We can see them in the videos as everyone watching. But we're praying for Fonike Mange again because he's in hospital to get his health back. 2, don't forget Ismail Conde. Everyone know why Ismail Conde was arrested. Ismail Conde, the only crime he did is because he said to Alpha Conde, I don't want you to change the constitution. I don't want you to go to this election. I'm not staying with you. I'm going to UFDG. That's the only crime. They put Ismail Conde to jail because he told him, he said, what I'm standing for and what you're doing is not the same. I want democracy in my country. But you, I follow you till this time. You're doing this. I'm not going to be with you. That's the only crime he did to be in jail. What is the time he been there. And 2, they didn't say to him straight away because he went to UFDG. What they say he had corruption in the mairie where he was staying. But it's a lie. It's just a thing to arrest him. Like we come back to Sorel Bangura, him as well. Recently, he was arrested in a hotel. They say because he have a hotel. They say he was arrested because he breached the law for COVID right now. But that's everyone know it's because Sorel Bangura is with the UFDG. That's the only crime he did. We saw many people who was arrested because of that. They got arrested, like the imam of the mosque in Wanidara. Everyone know is a imam. What a imam can do to put a crime. That's the people who advising us to be kind and nice. About Alpha Conde with a clan, because they know this imam is UFDG, he say, oh no, we don't want him. we need to take him in jail. And it's many young people is there. Some of them, they lost their family when they was in jail. Some of them, they don't have anything. There was the people who was looking after the family. If they go out, they work and they bring for the family. Some of them, because of that, they went back to the village. Really, the Alpha Conde, what he did to the Guinean, he was painful. That's when he came to power, everyone was saying, oh, here the Mandela of Guinea. It came as someone who suffered 40 years, someone who been in jail because of he wanted a democracy in a country. But he came down, he showed all the other side. He said, here we go. I've been done this one. I'm going to do to the rest of the Guinean. The same things will happen to me. But we thanks to God with the Colonel Mamady Doumbouya, long for the powerful man for Guinea right now. And we, like we always say, we hope he's not going to listen to those criminals who was behind Alpha Conde and Lansana Conte to bring the country together.
Thank you very much for that. It seems we've lost Mr. Sheriff Bah in our connection there, but hopefully we'll try to get hold of him back. Chiwe, do you want to say something?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mr. Barry. I was wondering, though, in the context of the prisoners that have just been released, they're political prisoners, they've been released. What happens next? Is there some recourse of compensation that the military regime is looking at? I know some governors have been appointed. Is that one of the things that they're going to be considering at this stage? 700 is a big number.
In this stage, we don't know nothing because right now, the army, they're just between them for now. For now, as far as I know, right now, it's nothing, no deal, any deal done saying, oh, we will put this one because it's been in jail. No, it's nothing been done like that for now.
Mr. Barry, yesterday we had Mr. Cellou Dalein Diallo pledging his support for the military. And in an interview with Radio France International, he was asked whether he's had any communication with Mr. Doumbouya. He stated no, and he was asked whether he trusts Mr. Doumbouya, which he stated yes, in a sense, but no, in a sense, because the reason being Guinea has been there before. When Daddies came in, Captain Daddies Camara, he promised a lot, but the opposite happened. So he was a bit reserved. I will ask you a similar question. You, as a member of the UFDG party, do you trust Mr. Doumbouya, and do you trust that the military this time will act on behalf of the Guinean people, what the Guineans want?
For now, as our president say, yes and no. I'm not going to say behind about one thing, as everyone know, as our president, his passport been taken by by the Alpha Conde because it's him, and his wife is not allowed to go out. Many of the members of the party is not allowed to go out. Really, everyone was crying. You see the how is the economy of Guinea? Did you see how about the COVID was going on? Because what they was doing, even the money for COVID, they're taking it, putting in their pocket. They didn't want to help the Guinean to survive in this COVID-19. Like our president said, for now, we don't know him. He just came. We need to wait. Is the act what he's going to do? That's what we will judge him from there.
Thank you very much for that. In terms of the wind of change that has been blowing since Sunday, with regards to what we are seeing right now, the colonel calls for an inclusive government, and he said which he's going to consult everyone, including the civil society and including your party, of course, the UFDG party. And one of the promises was that he was going to release all political prisoners and there shouldn't be any revenge. What's your take on that? And also if, as he has stated, that he's going to invite everyone on board for an inclusive government. Are you guys really going forward with that?
Yes, we will go, because one thing, First promise he did it. He released all the prisoners. That one is a good sign. And two, like we say, we cannot judge him. And don't forget as well, he said, whatever, and he don't want to revenge to anyone else. Whatever the justice in Guinea said for the old government, that's what is going to work. But like I said right now, we are happy if he call us to negotiate, to run the country, to get out in this economical problem. We will be happy to come, as our president said, we will be happy to come and help the Guinean to get out in this economical problem.
Right. Can I ask you a similar question related to that, though? With your friend and also fellow political party member that was released yesterday, Abdoulay Bah, rather. I'm wondering, in that same vein, has he said anything about whether he would want to work with this military government should he be asked, given how high profile he is himself?
No, I didn't speak to him about that. I didn't right now.
And what would you expect, though? What would you want?
Right now is the family time. For about that, like it's the party, because he's under a UFDG party. Himself, he cannot decide alone. We have to go under the party.
Thank you very much, Mr. Barry. So just to clarify, what are your expectations politically for your colleague now that he's out of prison and he's got such a high profile, also he's former mayor of Kindia? What are your expectations?
My expectation, as it's been always, don't forget in Kindia, when he came, he took Kindia. Many people know what he did to Kindia, because one thing is a guy who want to work for his country. And don't forget.
Do you want to clarify when you say he worked for, because there'll be a wider audience. Could you clarify what
he was? When was the transition before? He was mayor of Kindia before. Before he went for election as well, for being the mayor of Kindia as well. He won with this government. You know what they did? They force him, they give the power to someone else. And two, this guy is a guy who sacrificed everything, because he used to live in Europe and Canada. He been in Europe, it's not because he don't have the opportunity to do something for himself. He get up, he say, I'm going to go to my country to work for my people. He's a guy who loves his country. And two, I hope this time with this, because I know it's a guy, when he's there, he can help the Guinean, because he loves his country. With this government, like now, I cannot say anything, because we are under a party. Few of the things we cannot say it till the party decide what to do.
Right. Okay, I appreciate that. But then, very similar to his story of exile, you yourself are not currently able to go to Guinea. What are your hopes now that you've got this military government, which I'm really trying to reconcile with the constitution? But what are your hopes in terms of your own exile story?
Right now, I'm free, like a fish in the water. I can go back happy. I'm very happy, because as many people know, I have a page of Facebook. I've been going out telling what's going on in Guinea, and we've been having argument with the government, because they don't like people to go out and tell what is going on in the country. I have many high people who I know used to call me and say to me, the day you put your foot down here, we will put you straight away to jail. Today, I'm happy. And I have many people from the party politics as well. When I wanted to go, they ring me, they say, for now, it's not a good idea to go there, because I'm from the LAX. I'm one of the boys from the LAX. And I have many boys who respect me in the LAX. And they know me as the father of the young boy in LAX.
Thank you very much for that. Now we got back Mr. Sharif. We lost the connection with you earlier. Mr. Sharif, if I may just ask you a similar question that we asked Mr. Barry earlier. The question being, now the Guinean constitution is suspended, which is debatable depending on which constitution you're talking about. But the military has suspended the constitution since taking over on Sunday. With regards to that, now that the constitution is suspended, do you trust the military in terms of running the country smoothly? You as a person that has been fighting for the constitution to be respected, do you believe now what you are wanting or what you are hoping for will be achieved through this military led by Lt Colonel Mamady Doumbouya?
Oh, thank you. As you said, this was the only goal that we stood up for. So it was to make sure democracy come back to Guinea, freedom, justice, and fair treatment to every single Guinean citizen without any discriminations, without any treatment based on ethnical group or sex. So therefore, the simple fact that because it's a new chapter that is opening for Guinea and Guinea is, I believe, is just a bit premature to just make a mention of the constitution or anything that relating to that. As we said earlier, we take act on everything that Mr. Doumbouya and his team has said. So far, that looks promising. So, but that has been said, we are not saying we don't trust them, but we are still again in reserve. We are observing. If you say reserve, we are observing. We hope they will implement every single element. If we remember what he said first, he want to look like the former Ghanaian president who passed away, Jerry Rawlings. So he's a role model. He's an example of the junta who took power, just brought what we can put things back to normal in Ghana, and then handed power over, and he just got on with his life, in his military duties. We expect the same from Mr. Doumbouya and his team, and obviously we want to be in the center of all these negotiations, all these discussions, and he also said that he wanted the diaspora to be fully involved in that. So at the moment, every single opportunity is open to him to make sure that the goal that he just set for himself will be realized. So at the moment, that's where we stand.
Thank you.
I find it interesting that you talk about promising. It looks promising with Lt Colonel Doumbouya, and you're talking about the constitution and democracy in one vein, but I'll leave that with you because you deal with the constitutional issues. However, Mr. Sheriff, we currently have an African Union problem. We kind of have an ECOWAS problem, which is something that we seem to have at every election in any other country. We don't have condemnation of dictators on the African continent when it comes to the African Union leadership. Presently, with Alpha Conde, there was a lot of debate around this term that he actually won, and the African Union and ECOWAS came in support. This time around, we've got this crisis, this military coup that has taken place, and ECOWAS and the African Union have come out in full condemnation of Lt Colonel Doumbouya. Where are you sitting on that as the defense of the Constitution Defense Team for the UK? Okay,
first of all, I would rather call this not a coup. We just say that is a form of reform that happened in Guinea. The coup that was held in Guinea was the one that led to the change of constitution without the willingness of the people. So it's a constitution whereby a group of individuals wanted to sit in power, share the wealth of the country between themselves. So regardless how the Guinean people, survive on that. So we have seen over the years, a Guinean family is surviving on the $1 a day, despite the wealth that this country has. So that has been said. I believe the condemnation from the ECOWAS and the African Union is just, I believe, is a standard procedure. If they had to do something, we have over 200 lives taken without justice. We have over 700 prisoners, as we can see today. All these people here for just voicing one thing, which is the right of the freedom, because the Constitution gives right to the Guinean people to go out and voice themselves rightfully without violence. But that was taken. You had army checkpoints set up in every single corner of the opposition side of the country. Therefore, the repression was just atrocious. Hence why we're not going to condemn the African Union and the ECOWAS. All we, the Guineans, are saying, we believe they are there for the people, not for an individual, somebody who transformed himself after 40 years of so-called political fight to a dictator. So at the end of the day, today is a new chapter for Guinea, is a new chapter for the entire West African country. I believe it's a strong message that was sent to those who believe they are powerful and no one can touch them.
Thank
Mr.
you
Barry,
Mr. Bah. Go on, Chire. Were you asking a question?
Yeah, I was going to ask Mr. Barry. So this new hope that the country is currently leaning on, what does a transition into a civilian government look like to you?
I come back first where you say the ECOWAS and the African Union, what they say. First thing, the president of the African Union is one of the dictators. That one we know. We cannot, they need to help each other. ECOWAS, same, because like Sheriff Bah said, when they was going to the mosque, throwing gas and arresting people, going in our mother's house, throw the food and hit women, slapping a old man, taking a lady as a shield, a pregnant woman, putting her as a shield where they were. That's what we want to ask them. For now, they shouldn't be telling us what to do, but because they couldn't help us. If they are there to help, they're supposed to go out that time, especially when they saw the army taking a pregnant woman as a shield. They shouldn't allow that president to be there even 2 days. And two, this president, you know how many people killed. The ECO has been to Guinea, the African Union, they say everything. Cellou Dalein is there. He wanted to negotiate with them to bring peace in Guinea. They was not listening. Why? Because they have their colleague who they do the crime together. They have to protect him because themselves, they know where they are and what they're doing. That's why today they're going out because they don't want that to happen to their house. Two, you was asking me if what I think if they're going to do the transition as a civilian. For now, as we say,
and what you expect to see.
Yeah, that's what we expect. Like so far, we are not saying it's just less than a week since he came to power. What he said so far is realizing. Don't forget when Daddies came in power as well, he was promising as well. We are not going to say this will be same person. But as many people saying, we want him to close his eyes and close his ears. Don't look someone who can give him a small sneak, say, oh, no, you can continue, or listen to the bad people. As he came, we want him to go out there, the man who free Guinea. That's what we want. We want him to take all the army, go back in the camp, leave the civilian to run the country and help the Guinean, because right now is the one who helped Guinean. We don't want anything to go further to make the Guinean same as Alpha Conde did to the Guinean. We hope so far, so good, and we hope he will keep his promise.
Okay, but we have already seen that he's appointed some governors from the army anyway, so I'm not sure whether that's very encouraging in terms of the transition. Mr. Sheriff,
I didn't see that yet.
Yeah. Well, I saw it's been reported by Reuters that's right
now they're just saying it. Right now, I'm not going to say yes or no because they're talking about the ambassador of Cuba, the one who used to be in Cuba. That's what they're saying. Like me, I cannot confirm it exactly till we know he calmed down, because I don't think he can do that now. He didn't sit with the opposition leader and the FNDC, because all that they have to sit together and organize what they will do. Because first thing he said, they will all go sit together, put a new constitution to run the country. For now, maybe as you know, sometimes you can say something, maybe it's true, because like Sunday, everyone was saying, oh, it's a coup d'etat. Everyone saying, they say, oh, no. We saw many people going out there saying, no. We can pray to God. That's happened.
Okay, so I think by all accounts, by all definitions, that does look and smell like a military coup, except it's people are jubilating on this occasion, but I think it's correct to describe it as a military coup. In the very same vein, Mr. Sharif, you as the UK head of the Defense for the Constitution in Guinea, I would like to hear from you what you think the transition would look like from that perspective of the Constitution.
First of all, we know the Constitution is not something that belongs to only one side. It belongs to all different parties of the nation. And that has been said. It's a little bit earlier to comment on that, because we had the Constitution, that's my personal opinion, we had the Constitution of 2010, which is running at the background. And we had the new Constitution that Alpha Conde and his clan put forward. So we're wondering if the Constitution that he's referring to is the Constitution that was put forward by Alpha Conde. Is that the one that has been suspended, or both? He didn't say the constitutions. So at the moment, there is a dilemma, because Alpha Conde has not been fully recognized and is not fully recognized. The reason why the FNDC and the opposition parties, also if we talk about the Guinean Constitution League, we are all waiting for the consultations that has to happen, as stated by Mr. Doumbouya and his team. So in regard to the different appointees that he made, again, we call that a standard procedure, because, he cannot only take power and then just occupy the presidential palace and leave the other part of the government just run by whoever. So definitely that has to be structured. Somebody has to be there in order for all activities to run smoothly, which is happening at the moment in Guinea. We honestly thank each and everyone for their understanding. There has not been bloodshed. As I say to you, the country was oppressed to a level whereby we saw the joy. The simple fact that people came out, expressed that joy, should tell every single one, including the ECOWAS, that should be a strong message to themselves. And as for Mr. Doumbouya, we believe he will learn from the past, as he said, and there is no room for mistake at this time, and we hope a new sun has risen for Guinea.
Can I get some context though with can I get some context? Sorry, Bailo, I'm going to bring you back in. I'm really sorry. There's a tangent I'm going on here. So I would like to bring back some context to Lieutenant Colonel Doumbouya. I keep losing that. But I think what's getting lost in all these conversations is that he was a strong ally of President Alpha Conde. Only a few weeks ago, I think that this relationship disintegrated. Do you not see him as somebody who would have strongly been part of the making of the constitution that Alpha Conde himself chose to write on, the one that you're protesting against?
Mr. Doumbouya, he's somebody who has benefited from strong formations, abroad and in the country, including in West Africa. However, he knows the reality of the diaspora. He knows the reality of Guinea. So that has been said. I believe, again, that is a personal opinion, is just a complete conflict of interest. So it was a matter of who hit first. So Mr. Doumbouya just was the one at the right place at the right time. He's the one who took the decision first. It might have been him today in the hand, of the army where we saw Alpha Conde, but he decided to do the right thing at the right time for the right people.
Okay, I will put a little bit with this message what Sheriff said now. Hello?
Yeah, we're listening to you, Mr. Barry. Go on.
All right, like the message what Sheriff been saying now, like, when someone want to hit you, you see, like you facing a mirror, you see someone behind you from the mirror, you have to save yourself in it. But that's what happened to Alpha Conde. One, for the constitution, I can say I'm not 100% about this guy was not happy with the president to go for the third mandate. That's from that time, they didn't trust him anymore. That's why Dr. Gianni, that's one of their ministers, they say this guy, he shouldn't be trusted. He shouldn't be near us. And that's the time he decided to change that guy from the palace of the president and to take him in another area called Forekaria. That's near the border of Guinea, Sierra Leone. But they took him there. Since that time, he having a lot of problem with this president, and he was having problem with the ministers. And they was saying this guy have a lot of money. He's buying himself nice houses, buying himself cars. All the other ones, they're just jealous, as we say, because they all was doing the same. And this guy was not happy.
Mr. Barry, can you just clarify who was this guy that you're talking about buying the cars and the houses?
No, they were saying Lt Colonel Mamady Doumbouya. That's what they were saying about this. That's what they was jealous, and then they say he don't want the president to be there. And as we all know what happened before this coup d'etat. We used to have a first minister. He lost his daughter. He went to the US just for a few days to bring the body of her daughter from the US. They changed him. That Dr. Jane, they put him as a first minister, temporary first minister till the other one comes. That's the time people already was thinking something going on, but no one was thinking this coup d'etat was going to happen. But Mamady was ready. There was ready a letter there to arrest him.
Thank you very much for that. But speaking of what you've just stated, does this come as a surprise to many Guineans? Because it did come as a surprise to the outside world. And also, this question will go to both of you, by the way. We've seen in the last 12 months, there has been over 3 coups d'etats, all of them in West Africa, twice in Mali, one in Chad, and now one in Guinea. Especially for you, Mr. Bah, you as a person who has been fighting for constitutions to be respected, especially in Guinea, do you worry that military takeovers are coming again back in West Africa, as it used to be, or as it happened back in the 70s and 80s?
Well, I will refrain myself from commenting about what happened in Niger and Mali. But again, as we said, when dictatorship, the flame of dictatorship is growing within the nation, the oppression, the disappearance of the rule of law will be the first thing to be seen in air. So relating to Guinea, it is not a surprise. It's a matter of when it was meant to happen. So the fight didn't only come from Mr. Doumbouya and his team. So obviously, as your colleague just mentioned, and was it something that was prepared or not? So, or if Mr. Doumbouya was happy with the constitution that was brought forward. If Mr. Doumbouya was happy with the constitution that was brought forward, I believe it would have been inappropriate for him to take the action that he took today to lead Guinea towards the freedom and the joy that everybody is, enjoying at the moment. And also, if I can add to that, I don't believe, a military coup is coming back to Africa in the 60s. In the 60s, we had the majority of people were from the army. So, if you talk about intellectual people, there were very few of them. The only very few that we could rely on were those who, the diaspora. It was not many. Then also political parties was not there. Now, Guinea has grown mentally and politically. So I believe it's in the best interest of every single coup taker to just do what they have to do. They do the housekeeping and they hand the power to the people. So Mr. Doumbouya, on all his statements, he emphasized strongly in bold speaking. He said this is his objective. That's why he wants everyone that wants to help him is to go towards that goal. So therefore, I believe at the moment, it is not something that is worrying too much. But as I said to you earlier, and we are in reserve, we are in between joy and worry. So at the minute, we're gonna watch the situations and then we take it from there. It's a fight that he fought, he found, and the fight will not stop because of him if he goes to the wrong path.
Speaking of watching him, how long are you looking forward for the constitution or for the transition to take place for? How long are you looking for the transition to last for?
Well, as things stand, there has not been bloodshed, and he's got the consent of all the army, all right, to sign allegiance to him. So I believe at the moment, all the political parties as well are thankful for what happened. We are not saying they are happy, but they are thankful for the release of the people. It don't matter how powerful you are in the country. If I say powerful, we're talking about political leaders. So, and you go out there, the people that you rely on is those who's going to vote for you. But those people that, will vote for you, they are oppressed. They are hungry. They don't benefit from justice. So obviously that pain is on you. But that release that happened on Sunday from Mr. Doumbouya and his team is something that the whole country is really proud of. Now, in regard to the time frame, and all we will say at the moment, we want it to happen as soon as possible. So we're not going to give a time frame. He just said, okay, he's going to start a national dialogue, and he has started it already. So we believe that's going to happen as soon as possible.
Okay, by law, I come back there where he was saying for the military to come in power is what I say, we think, if we think about it, how many times the Guinean went out to say, we want this to be changed, we want freedom. And it's the duty of the army, if they see these things is happening in the country, if it's the civilian couldn't control it, it's their duty, they are paid for that, to save the Guinean. It's their duty to come out, step forward to say, no, stop. That's what they did. They did their job to help the Guinean as their duty. That's what happened. That's why we will not say right now is because of the military. No, we couldn't get the power back democratically because we went for election. UFDG won. The FNDC went out, told Alpha Conde, we don't want the constitution to be changed. He told him, we don't want third mandate, you need to go. He said, no, the only things as when it's a war, they send the army. Our Guinea was a proper war because the war Alpha Conde and claim with the people who he was paying, the people who was taking the money of the country, they decided to kill the Guinean people to start in power. Now we are happy because we paying the army to save the Guinean. They came in to save the Guinean.
I'm afraid we're running out of time now, so I'm going to have to thank both of you, Mr. Bah Sharif and Mr. Alpha Barry, for joining us, and my colleague Bailo Jallo, who was co-hosting the show with me. So we're going to continue giving you exclusives on the Guinean situation. But for now, thanks so much for tuning in to Sheffield Live TV and African Voices platform. Good night.